that confronted the church. Yeah. Folks, that's how you confront leadership. She did it nicely. She wasn't ugly. But his reaction, asking her, how did you know it? That question alone right there would have made me
That right
out.
there alone spoke volume. That was it. That was over.
Why does it matter how she found out about it? She knew about it. They knew about it.
That's because it's a secret.
It's a secret. They didn't want you to know about it. So all the naysayers out there that says we're always attacking the church, let me tell you something, folks. We ain't attacking the church. We're attacking the corruption. We're attacking the corruption that's in the church. That's corrupt, folks. If you cannot see that that's corrupt, the thing I say to you, me and Mark, we can't help you because you got a far greater problem than anything you're hearing on this show tonight. I'm telling you, that's corrupt, Mark. And I tell you what hurts about that. And I want to say, you told me about somebody that
Paul Obel.
And he went and tried to apply for one of these, and he got turned down.
He got turned down because they were out of money.
They were out of money. And a lot of these mom and pop businesses, Mark, that really needed that money couldn't get it. And then these big ministries, and again, are operating on $100 to $200 million budgets and salaries. Brother, let me tell you something. If you can't see that as being despicably corrupt, again, there's nothing I can do to help you with that because your problems go way beyond Monday Night Spiritual Smackdown. I can guarantee that.
Yep. So, I mean, we could go on some stuff. I don't know if you got a couple things you want to bring up here. Here's one right here. What is this guy's name again? Ex-Cardinal McCarrick, accused of running a child sex ring out of a beach house.
Yes.
A new lawsuit accuses the former Cardinal Theodore E. McCarrick, the former Archbishop of Washington, of managing a sex cabal among seminarians, altar boys, and priests at a New Jersey beach house in the 1980s. The 30-page lawsuit filed on Tuesday in the Superior Court of New Jersey.
Yep.
More stuff coming out, guys. This is going to continue on the farther we get into this. Go ahead, brother.
What I wanted to do before we start taking questions, this story was really troubling to me today, and it happened over the weekend, actually. It happened on C-SPAN, which is another liberal cesspool. But Trump 2020 advisor Boris Epshteyn scolded C-SPAN host Jesse Holland on Sunday for dismissing rhetoric made by a caller who appeared to threaten Trump supporters. I'm going to read this quote. This morning, a Trump supporter was shot and killed in a drive-by in Milwaukee. This is what the caller said. I don't know if you got that news, but the people in Milwaukee are waiting for those troops to come in because they got weapons. And it's going to be a lot of bloodshed when they come. So that's all I got to say. And he hung up the phone. He identified himself as a Democrat named John. But that's not the story. Now, you've got people on your air, Epshteyn told Holland, threatening our lives. Is that what it is, Jesse? And he tried to move on to the next caller. He tried to move on to the next situation. He wouldn't answer it. And Epshteyn tweeted this out. He said, here's a video of a call to my appearance on C-SPAN by John from Wisconsin referencing weapons, bloodshed, and a murder of a real Donald Trump supporter. Mark, I'm going to say this. Hillary Clinton called us deplorables. We've had Joe Biden calling us racist. We get called every name in the book. MAGA people with hats get beat up regularly. They get intimidated. They get hurt. Yes, people die. People are dying because of this violence. And these attacks on President Trump are no longer about him. They went beyond him to us out here in this MAGA world, in this MAGA community. But the sickening silence of the media about that, to me, is more criminal than the act itself. Because instead of that caller being confronted by this liberal hack, this liberal talk show host, I guarantee he agreed with everything that caller said. And that's how the media feels about you tonight, folks. And that's why it'd be in your best interest to turn that nut box off and stop listening to the media and find your news from some other source besides CNN, Fox, and MSNBC and all these other ragtag networks, because that kind of stuff, to me, is what they really feel about us, Mark. And it's like you said about the meme. Donald Trump is not anything more than standing in between what they want to do to us and what they're actually doing to him. He's not what they're after. They're after me and you out here in this real world.
That's right. Here's one more, and I know we're going to take some questions here.
Take your time, buddy.
Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder was arrested in a $60 million bribery case. It's happening, folks. People want to say it's not happening. Justice is getting served on a daily basis right now. You're just not hearing about it. That's a big one right there to me. That was coming from Tom Fenton.
Yep.
So we got a lot of good stuff going on here. It's happening. So be encouraged. Even though things may look dark out there right now, guys, there's a lot of good that's actually still happening. A lot of this stuff is getting cleaned up right now.
Without a doubt. Folks, you're listening to a live Mac Files Monday night spiritual SmackDown program with the one and only Mark Taylor. We're glad to have you tonight. If you got a question for Mark and me, we got about 10 minutes. We'll take those. We encourage you to watch us tonight on the replay. If you're watching this early, you're watching this live. If you're watching this late, there's no questions. But if you're watching this live right now, which you are, have a question or two. Mark, do you think that as we sort of get ready for the questions, what's your greatest feeling right now? What's coming down? I've been hearing rumblings we're going to have some deer movements in the next week or so. I've been hearing rumblings that the deep state's a little nervous as we go into the August dog days of summer, as we call them down here down south.
Well, didn't the president come out like a couple of days ago, say something about treason with Obama?
Yeah, he did it again. That's the second time
he did it again.
He's called Obama treasonous. He did.
Yeah,
he did.
And then all of a sudden, isn't this funny now? Tom Hanks goes to Greece and has got his Greece citizenship now. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I saw that. I did. I sure did.
I don't think we have any extradition with Greece. Is that true? Somebody can fact check me on that.
Extradition with Greece, and there's a lot of people that are asking us why that is, and I don't want to speculate, but it is very sneaky of the timing. I'll just leave it at that. Very conspicuous.
Yep. And there's something about Walmart, Home Depot, all these guys that were requiring masks to get in now. I think they have backtracked. Somebody can fact check that as well. I think they came out with an article. Somebody was talking about all these big box stores that they weren't going to mandate it because. And didn't I say this about 2 months ago with Apple that they were putting their employees in harm's way? That's exactly what the article was talking about when they said that they didn't want to put their employees in harm's way of arguing with customers, which is exactly what was happening.
Right. Folks, I want to just tell you about the questions. If you're asking us, did we see certain videos? We cannot answer that. I can guarantee you, me and Mark probably didn't see any videos. We're so busy. We know we didn't see your videos, but if you got questions about certain issues in the country, we'll answer those. I do have a question by Tina Ammerman, a good friend, good supporter of the show. She says, Mark, have you heard the latest about Liz or Mike? Liz Crokin's folks fighting the fight. We know Liz and Mike, and I have not heard anything about Kevin Shipp. Kevin Shipp and them are still working. Kevin Shipp was part of their documentary. I've not heard anything negative of you. I think Kevin Shipp's on board.
This is all about what Kevin has come out and said some stuff about Q, and everybody's kind of up in arms about it. I'm not going to comment on it.
No need to be up in arms
about it. What Kevin said on the documentary was in fact correct.
Yes.
Everything was vetted and everything was fine on that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. You may not agree with everything that some people say or this, that, and the other, but now it has turned and it looks like that he is kind of, it's gone more than just an opinion at this point. So that's all I'm going to say at that point. I don't have anything bad to say about Kevin or anything like that.
Me either. I'm with you on that. And folks, I would just say this to everybody. Take a lot of that, what you hear, with a grain of salt, because look, there's a lot of folks that we're all fighting the same fight. I hope we are. I hope we're all on the same page out there. And, not all perspectives are going to be the same, but we got to get to the finish line in November. And then we can sit around and have a Coke and chit chat and figure out what we're doing here. But there's actually a good.
If you don't want to follow someone, then just don't follow them anymore.
Don't follow them. It's okay. Yeah. It's all good. We don't hold that against you. There's a question about how do I find a church that isn't a 501c3? That's actually not a bad question. Omega Kingdom Ministries is a way to start, I guess, that they've got maybe some churches they can suggest. But, folks, the best thing to do is just walk up to your pastor. If you go to a church and visit your pastor, walk up to him and say, are you guys 501c3? They're going to tell you. And I tell you what, if they act like that pastor did to that other lady, you got a 501c3. Because if they start him-hawing around and acting like it's a real secret, they got something to hide.
Listen, the sign will be. This is what the Lord told me years ago. The sign will be if you confront one of the leaders and they say it's a 501c3 or your pastor, and they say, "Oh no, this is a good thing," or this, that, and the other. That's your sign they're being controlled by mammon.
Excellent point.
Period. That's how they're being controlled by mammon.
Mark, this is an excellent question here. Actually, Jeanette, thank you for this. She says, "Can President Trump send in troops even if the governor of Washington doesn't want his help?" Or the mayors of the cities with all the violence? In other words, if the mayors say no, I think the federal mandate.
I think federal overrides all that.
I do, because he's defending the country. This is a national security issue to me. I don't think it's.
That's right.
It's not a political statement, folks. This is a national security. Lives are at stake in these cities. If you're watching those videos of violence, people are going to get hurt. I'm surprised we've not had more hurt in this violence, to be honest with you.
Right.
So,
he's declared a national emergency. I think we're still under that national.
We are a national emergency. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Here's a good question. Let's